May the peace and mercy of Allah be upon you. What is the scientific evidence for the existence of angels? I will give a one-sentence answer at the end of this episode, but first, let's construct the answer step by step. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, you may need more details. Therefore, I will hold a live session after this episode to provide additional clarification and answer some questions, Allah willing. First of all, we have explained in detail that the circle of ilm, knowledge, is wide and that experimental science is only one part of this circle. So, when I tell you that there is ilm-based evidence for the existence of angels, you should not say, "Where are they so I can touch them and examine them in the lab?" Instead, we should determine whether the belief in angels falls within the general circle of knowledge. Second, we have proven that there is an unseen world beyond observation alongside this visible world which we witness and observe, and that even self-proclaimed materialists are forced to resort to metaphysical interpretations. The difference is that these interpretations are not supported by the mind, innate nature, observation, or testimony, as discussed previously. Materialists who disagree with such interpretations are clueless about the origin of the universe and life. They just stand in silent impotence. This shows that, in practice, everyone acknowledges the existence of the unseen, even if they verbally deny it. Third, we determine which unseen things fall within the scope of ilm. Given the many fabrications, we need to follow an ilm-based approach to determine which unseen things fall within the circle of ilm and which are myths. What we have done thus far in this series is to prove, using an ilm-based methodology, the greatest of unseen truths, the existence of an all-knowing and omnipotent creator. We did this through an ilm-based approach based on knowledge sources, where the mind plays a central role. It uses science to prove the existence of the creator and his attributes. These same knowledge sources affirm that such a creator does nothing in vain. His wisdom is evidenced throughout his creation. He does not leave people without guidance, but sends prophets and provides them with proof of the truth of their prophethood. To distinguish them from liars, he supports them with miracles. Determining the truth of a prophecy and its miracles is a rational judgment, which uses the sources of knowledge to reach the following ilm-based conclusion. This prophet is a true prophet, and his book is truly from the creator of life and the universe. This topic is an upcoming milestone in the journey of certainty, Allah willing. Fourth, once we verify that someone is a true prophet from the Creator and that a certain book is true revelation from the Creator, including its accounts of the unseen world beyond human observation, we need to ask, what is the ilm-based position regarding this testimony? It is submission and acceptance, as testimony earns its credibility and authenticity from the truth of its source. Again, we believe in it and submit to it because it earns its credibility and authenticity from the truth of its source. What if certain accounts of the unseen contradict with science? You may find yourself at a crossroads. You either believe in the science and deny the unseen, or you believe in the unseen and deny the science. The answer is that they cannot contradict each other. The relationship between the unseen and science is one of two possibilities. First, science provides the rational person with evidence of the unseen. Second, science neither confirms nor denies the unseen. This is important, dear viewers, because it removes a lot of the confusion. Some say, science is related to the unseen. Others say, no, they are not related. This issue needs to be detailed further. Science can prove some unseen things. Others it can neither confirm nor deny despite the ilm-based evidence that they exist. Let us take an example for each of these two cases. When the Creator tells you, through the authenticated revelation you believe in, that after death there is a resurrection, science requires cognitive proof for the ability of the Creator to resurrect. Accordingly, you understand the following translated words of Allah Almighty. And they argue with us, forgetting they were created, saying, who will give life to decayed bones? Say, they will be revived by the one who produced them the first time. For he has perfect knowledge of every created being. He is the one who gives you fire from green trees, and, behold, you kindle fire from them. Can the one who created the heavens and the earth not easily resurrect these deniers? Yes, he can, for he is the master creator, all-knowing. This is an Ilm argument based on the following scientific observations. For a creator whose power and supreme glory is evident in his creation, the resurrection of humans is easier than the creation of heavens and earth, the magnificence of which we can observe using science. Resurrection is also easier than the first creation of the human being. Through science, we observe the magnificence in the creation of man. And it is he who begins creation. Then he repeats it, and that is even easier for him. The creation of the heavens and earth is greater than the creation of mankind, but most of the people do not know. That was the first case, where science confirms the unseen. In the second case, dear viewers, science neither confirms nor denies the unseen. Angels are an example. Science studies the seen world through observation and experimentation. The mind uses science to deduce the existence of the Creator and some of his general attributes. However, the Creator's actions in the unseen realm are beyond the scope of science. Evidence for angels is part of the same epistemic system which produces science. It is the more comprehensive Ilm-based evidence, not limited to scientific evidence. Science and the existence of angels are two branches from one tree, validated independently of each other. The validity of both is established through the validity of their common foundation. Again, science and the existence of angels are two offshoots from one origin, and neither is required to validate the other. To establish their validity, it is enough to establish the validity of their common foundation. Just as it is foolish to deny the existence of angels based on science, it is also foolish to try to prove their existence through science. The relationship between them is not one of validation, denial, or contradiction. It is not epistemically sound to attribute phenomena, which has no material explanation, to angels. Similarly, you will be conflicted and on shaky ground if, without any valid basis, you use this epistemic system to develop science, then reject the very same epistemic system and refuse its conclusions when it validates the existence of angels. It is the same epistemic system with the same sources of knowledge, which validates both science and the unseen. Authentic accounts of the unseen earn their validity from Ilm-based proof of their source's truthfulness. Thereafter, these accounts are either supported by the observations of empirical science, or science is neutral. In both cases, it is evidence-based proven knowledge. What applies to angels applies to other unseen things such as jinn, creatures made from fire, despite the absence of scientific proof for or against. Rather, they are proven through Ilm-based testimony. We reject all accounts that are not correctly attributed to revelation. Our conviction in the existence of angels and jinn does not mean we believe all accounts related to them. We only believe what is proven to come from the Creator and His messengers in accordance with the Ilm-based methodology used to verify the source of testimony. In contrast, when we fail to use this evidence-based Ilm methodology to prove the unseen, we will find contradictions with science, such as the claim that the Creator wrestled with a man until he was almost defeated, exalted is Allah from that. This account has no Ilm-based proof, as there is Ilm-based evidence that the books containing this account were distorted. Therefore, this account of the unseen is not reliable because its attribution to the Creator and His messengers is not valid. No wonder, then, that it contradicts science. The universe and life are proof of an omnipotent Creator, who cannot be incapacitated by a mere mortal. A denier of revelation and prophecies may ask, what have I gained from this discussion? The benefit is that when you object to something, you know how to give Ilm-based objections, for the discussion to be Ilm-based and factual. You feel embarrassed to say, angels do not exist because there is no scientific evidence for them, because it is a fallacy to assume that those who believe in angels concede that knowledge is confined to science, which is ignorance. You either say, prove that knowledge is not confined to science, which we did in the previous episodes, or you say, I do not believe that this revelation is from the Creator, or even that a Creator exists. At that point, I tell you, we have identified the point of contention. So let's take a step back and discuss the initial premises: the Creator, revelation, and prophecies. but it is shameful to request evidence for angels from experimental science. This is like saying, measure the weight of something with a ruler. When I talked about the invalidity of the multiverse myth, someone replied with a lengthy article full of fallacies, including, if you refer to the definition of the scientific method, you will find that belief in the unseen is in direct contradiction with science, which requires experimental, observed evidence. Just try to prove the existence of angels, jinn, the soul, heaven, or resurrection with experimental science. Impossible. Trying to explain religion with science and vice versa is a losing battle. By now, you should realize the degree of compounded ignorance in this response. He is assuming that knowledge is limited to the findings of experimental science and that science is limited to observation. Therefore, since angels, jinn, and resurrection cannot be observed, they are not valid knowledge. Rather, they have denied that which they encompass not in knowledge. They have removed these truths from the circle of knowledge. What falls outside the scope of science becomes either untrue or unscientific. This is a defeatist outlook that submits to the dominant culture and its limited definition of knowledge, the result of centuries of conflict with a corrupt religion and its fabrications in the realm of the unseen. This person wants to force this distorted definition of knowledge upon our religion, a total breakdown of the human epistemic system, darknesses, some of them, upon others. When one puts out his hand, he can hardly see it, and he to whom Allah has not granted light, for him there is no light. This example shows the difficulty of responding to comments that have no ilm basis. A sentence of 2 lines needs several episodes to refute it, as we need to construct the ilm-based methodology, pick apart the claim, and show its fallacies. Despite this, you'll find the pitiful followers of such people nodding sagely and clapping loudly in admiration of this scientific discourse. Compare this confusion to the clarity of a methodology that places everything in its right place and integrates all valid sources of knowledge. And those who have been given knowledge see that what is revealed to you from your Lord is the truth, and it guides to the path of the exalted in might, the praiseworthy. Moreover, we have proven that science would not even exist without the sources of knowledge derived from belief in the Creator, the greatest unseen truth of all. After this, how can anybody claim that faith in the unseen contradicts science? Observe the predicament of those who reject this sequential methodology, how they reject the evidence-based authenticated testimony of the unseen, disregarding the fact that it was conveyed by messengers with utmost morality and integrity. See how they end up accepting the delusions of people who justify incest and get fired from their job for sexual harassment, such as Lawrence Krauss, the author of A Universe from Nothing, and others who justify marital infidelity, such as Dawkins, the author of The God Delusion, who claims that life began on Earth from alien seeding. See how they reject the testimony of the most righteous and accept rubbish from such people. What a bad bargain for the evildoers. Prophet, do you see how deluded those who dispute God's messages are? See how they end up with obliterated minds and insights, wandering aimlessly in their transgressions. Now for the one-sentence response. What is the ilm-based evidence for the existence of angels? It is the trusted testimony from Revelation, which is validated by the sources of knowledge, without which no ilm, including experimental science, can take place. In conclusion, dear viewers, evidence, rational arguments, and going back to the basics of ilm will only work with truth seekers who are willing to humbly submit to the truth. Allah has kept some truths hidden so that those with pure souls believe while the arrogant turn away. Whoever believes, believes by choice, in accordance with reason and rationality. If Allah willed, He could have revealed the unseen and forced all His servants to believe, out of fear. But then, why would anyone earn the reward of eternal happiness? Allah, glory be to Him, loves the humility in His servants' hearts and bodies. If He had revealed the unseen, He would have deprived His righteous servants from attaining the high status of faith in the unseen, for the sake of the arrogant. Read the following translation of the words of Allah Almighty, Ta, Sin, Mim. These are the verses of the clear book. Perhaps, O Muhammad, you would kill yourself with grief that they will not be believers. If we willed, We could send down to them from the sky a sign for which their necks would remain humbled, and no revelation comes to them anew from the most merciful except that they turn away from it, for they have already denied, but there will come to them the news of that which they used to ridicule. Did they not look at the earth, how much we have produced therein from every noble kind? Indeed, in that is a sign, but most of them were not to be believers. And indeed, your Lord, He is the exalted in might, the merciful. Allah, in His glory, does not need to tailor His evidence to fit the demands of the arrogant. Yet, out of His mercy, He provides overwhelming evidence in the universe for all truth seekers. And indeed, your Lord, He is the exalted in might, the merciful. May the peace of Allah be upon you.